I used to think that some of my quirks made me weird. Eating the same meal every day, wearing the same clothes repeatedly, creating elaborate systems and abandoning them a week later. People saw these as laziness, obsession, or even antisocial behavior. But what if these strange habits are not weaknesses, but signs of intelligence? Everyone talks about how we should embrace variety, keep changing things up, and socialize all the time. Society tells us that repeating meals is dull, that avoiding parties is rude, and that procrastinating is irresponsible. That is the belief we've been fed. But what if those beliefs are only half true? What if behind these so-called flaws hides a sharper mind working in overdrive? This was my turning point. I realized that many things I used to apologize for were not accidents. They were strategies. My mind wasn't being lazy. It was protecting itself. And once I connected the dots, everything changed. Let me start with food. People often ask me, don't you get bored eating the same meal every day? They assumed it was bland. But here's the truth. By repeating meals, I avoided wasting mental energy. Decision fatigue is real. Every choice we make drains us. By keeping small things constant, I preserve brain power for bigger battles. That's why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily. It wasn't a fashion choice. It was an energy-saving hack. Maybe you do something similar without realizing it. Do you? Now, this raises another question. If small choices drain us, what about social interactions? I used to dodge crowded parties and felt guilty about it. People assumed I didn't like them. The truth, every conversation meant deep processing for me. While others could skim the surface, my brain dissected tone, body language, hidden meanings. It was exhausting. So I stayed away, not out of coldness, but out of preservation. Do you ever feel socially drained faster than others? Then comes the night. I would lie awake at 2 in the morning, wide-eyed with ideas rushing in. At first, I blamed insomnia. Later I discovered that for many highly intelligent people, creativity peaks when the world is quiet. The night becomes a laboratory of thought. Ideas bloom when distractions sleep. Maybe you too have felt that strange energy after midnight when thoughts feel sharper, deeper, and somehow more alive. But intelligence does not always look organized. In fact, some of the smartest people I know create elaborate planning systems, dashboards, color-coded calendars, bullet journals, and abandon them. To others, that looks like failure. But to me, it's proof of exploration. The brain loves building frameworks but hates cages. Starting and discarding systems is not incompetence. It's experimentation. And each abandoned system leaves behind a trace of learning. Have you ever set up something elaborate only to let it die? Maybe it wasn't wasted effort after all. Another misunderstood habit is procrastination. People call procrastinators lazy. I used to believe that too. But when the deadline loomed, I noticed something strange. My brain lit up. Creativity surged. Under pressure, I became faster, sharper, more inventive. What looked like irresponsibility was actually a skill, turning stress into fuel. Of course, it's risky, but the ability to ignite under pressure is not failure. It's a hidden strength. Does this sound like you? And let's talk about humor. Have you ever cracked a joke that nobody laughed at, only for you to realize they didn't get it? I've been there countless times. At first, I thought I was awkward, but in reality, humor can operate on layers. A joke can be simple or it can have a complex twist that not everyone sees. If people don't laugh, it doesn't mean you're unfunny. It may mean you're playing at a higher level, and once in a while, you'll meet someone who does get it, and that connection feels electric. There's also the awkwardness in daily interactions. Someone bumps into me, and I apologize to a chair instead of a person. It sounds absurd. But that reflex is not stupidity. It's empathy overflow. A brain so tuned to emotional resonance that even objects get treated as if they matter. People call it childish. I call it expanded sensitivity. When you feel for things most ignore, you're seeing the world with different eyes. And then there's the constant why. I cannot stop questioning. Why do we follow this rule? Why is this the way it's done? When others accept, my instinct is to test. Once, while assembling furniture, I ignored the manual and figured out my own way. It took longer, but I learned more. To others, it was inefficient. To me, it was a mental exercise. That curiosity, that refusal to obey blindly, is not rebellion. It's intelligence stretching itself. Now, here's the interesting part. All these traits, repetition, avoidance, late nights, procrastination, odd humor, empathy for objects, they seem unrelated, but they share one thread: conserving mental energy for the things that truly matter. A highly intelligent brain does not want to waste itself. It wants depth, meaning, and challenge. That's why it avoids shallow talk, trivial choices, or repetitive small talk. It's not antisocial. It's focused. At this point, you might be wondering, so are all strange habits signs of genius? Not exactly. But the mistake people make is judging too quickly. What looks like weakness can be hidden brilliance. And that's the gap we fall into, mistaking intelligence for oddity. How many brilliant minds were dismissed as eccentric before being celebrated as visionaries? So let me ask you directly, have you ever been called weird for something you do? Eating the same breakfast? Avoiding the crowd? Laughing at your own jokes? If so, maybe you are not weird. Maybe you are sharper than people realize. Share your experience in the comments. I want to know which of these habits you recognize in yourself. Now let's tie it together. If you followed me this far, here's the payoff. These habits are not flaws. They are signals. Signals that your brain is prioritizing, conserving, and channeling energy. And if you understand this, you can use them to your advantage. Step 1. Stop apologizing for your quirks. Step 2. Recognize which habits help you save energy. Step 3. Protect your focus by cutting out unnecessary noise. Step 4. Embrace the pressure moments but balance them with recovery. Step 5. Find people who understand your humor, your depth, your rhythm. They are your tribe. The reward? Freedom. Freedom to live without guilt, to accept your brain's wiring and to use it as power. Instead of seeing yourself as broken, you see yourself as optimized. And that shift is transformative. So let me leave you with this thought. What the world calls strange might be the very thing that makes you extraordinary. Don't hide it. Don't dilute it. Use it. Now, tell me, have you ever felt misunderstood because of your habits? Do you see them differently after hearing this? And which one of these habits speaks to you the most? Comment below, because your story might resonate with someone who needs to hear it. And if you know someone who has always been labeled as odd or quirky, share this video with them. It might just change how they see themselves. Because what the world calls weird, we call brilliance.